Hey guys, it's the Cozy Taurus, and I'm here to show everyone how to make this super easy no water bath cheesecake. I actually stumbled upon this recipe on Pinterest a while ago. I've tried many different cheesecake recipes. Over the 8 years I've been a pastry assistant, and this by far is the easiest, no fuss cheesecake recipe I've ever made. You can actually find this recipe on the website The Recipe Rebel, and I will put the link down below. So if you want to follow along and learn how to make this cheesecake, then keep watching. To make this cheesecake, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need either a stand mixer or a hand mixer, like this one. I use the KitchenAid standing mixer for this recipe, but the hand mixer works just as well. Next, you're going to need a springform pan. This is really, really important to make sure that your cheesecake unmolds super easily. I wouldn't recommend doing this without a springform pan, and this one is specifically a 9-inch springform pan. And lastly, you're going to need a spatula. Cheesecakes should always be started one day ahead, and make sure you have plenty of time because this will take quite a while in the oven. And another important thing is that your ingredients should be at room temperature. It's very, very important. So I would take your ingredients out and leave them out for a couple hours until they get to room temp. If your ingredients are cold, they're not going to want to mix together as well, and you'll have a lumpy mix. And we don't want that. We want a nice, smooth, velvety batter. This recipe calls for 3 8-ounce packages of cream cheese. I use the Philadelphia brand. Next, 4 eggs. You're going to need 1.5 cups of granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 cups of plain Greek yogurt or sour cream, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. The very first thing that you're going to want to do is to preheat your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to go ahead and make the crust while the oven is preheating. You're going to need 2.5 cups of crushed graham crackers, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and you're just going to mix that in. And then you're going to need 1/3 cup of melted butter, and mix that all together. And this is where I like to drop the spatula and just dig in and use my hands. Now you're going to pour your crust into your springform pan. Also, I like to mention that I cut some parchment paper for the bottom. I just feel like that helps when you're unmolding it later on. And you want to come up about 1 inch up the sides and just make sure it's as even as possible. Now you're going to want to bake your crust for about 12 minutes or until your crust feels dry to the touch. And then you're going to want to move on to making your filling. To make your mix, you're first going to want to get out your paddle attachment if you're using a stand mixer. Then you're going to take all 3 of the 8-ounce cream cheese, and you're going to mix those until they're smooth. Then you're going to want to scrape everything down. It's really, really important that you keep scraping throughout this whole process. You're going to add your sugar. Mix that up until it's nice and smooth. It's really important that you don't overmix the mix at any point. or else you'll end up with cracks in your cheesecake later on. And I like to stay at speed 4 and 6. We're going to add in the eggs. You want to add your eggs in one at a time. So add 1 egg, mix until it's fully combined. And you want to keep scraping after each addition. Once you add all your eggs in, it should be nice and smooth. Then you want to add your vanilla and the lemon juice. Mix that up. And finally, you're going to add your Greek yogurt or your sour cream. The Greek yogurt that I'm using here is non-fat Chobani brand. Then you're going to mix that up till it's nice and smooth. And of course, you're going to scrape down your bowl. Make sure nothing is on the bottom, nothing's stuck to the bottom. And you're going to take your crust, pour your cheesecake mix into the crust. Before your cheesecake goes in the oven, reduce your oven temperature to 275, and you're going to want to bake your cheesecake for 2 hours. Here I'm showing you what your cheesecake should look like, how it should jiggle after the 2 hours. It should have a little bit of a jiggle in the middle still. So at this point, you want to shut your oven off and let it sit in there for 1 hour. After your 1 hour is up, I like to put my cheesecake on a rack to cool down, and I leave it there for about 1 hour until I put it in the fridge overnight. Now we are going to unmold this, and since this is for somebody's birthday, I'm putting it on a cake board. And please have some patience with this. I should have took my time a little better with this. As you can see at a certain point in this video, I actually end up splitting the cheesecake because I was just a little bit too rough with it. Ideally, you would want to put the cake board on top, right on top of the cheesecake, flip it, and take the metal piece out from under it, and then flip it back on whatever you're going to serve it on. But I just got a little bit too impatient, but that's okay because blueberry compote is going to go right on top of this, and I'm also going to put some whipped cream on it, and it's going to be amazing. This cheesecake recipe is super versatile. You can put whatever you want on top of it, really. You can make a caramel sauce, you can put strawberries on top, anything you want, just to like jazz it up a little bit. So I just piped some homemade whipped cream around it and spreading the blueberry compote that I made, and putting some blueberries around it. But you can do whatever you want to your cheesecake. I really hope that you guys get to make this cheesecake for yourself, and let me know how it turned out in the comments below. Like I said, this is a super easy cheesecake, and I think anybody can make it. So if you like this video, come back next week, and I may just have another recipe waiting for you. Stay cozy, guys.